The Hamakuacoast is made up of several communities, but in particular we're in the Hamakua, the district of Hamakua. And it's made up of a number of different neighborhoods. One of them is Pauila, which is where we live. Pauila Mauka is Pauila Mountain, which is specifically where we live. The town of Honoka'a is kind of the busiest town near us, and that's like about 2,000 people. But that's about 7 miles away, and that's where we do our shopping and stuff. There's kind of one restaurant with sort of a happening, you know, kind of night scene that has some music, and so it's nice, you know, for a night out. It's real easy and always crowded. You want some pizza? No. We're happy and there's not a lot of nightlife. It's a day life here. When the Caucasian landowners came and started the plantation companies, they first brought in the Japanese, and then I think later the Portuguese. They brought in Filipinos, and so then that whole mix of people is really what created the local culture that is today.
Poi is made from taro, the taro root, and it's a starch. So they eat it like rice, you know, for rice instead of like a potato.
We're surfers, and the surfing is harder to get to. A lot of off-road spots, you have to know where they are.
I grew up surfing here, so it's kind of like home. That's why they call it like this. The place where you surf, where you kind of grew up surfing, they call it your home break. So this is kind of like my home break right here. Surfing was a big part of the Hawaiian culture until the missionaries came and saw these Hawaiians that were naked in the water, surfing, riding waves, and they decided it was not good.
Well, there's 3 residences on the property. There's the storefront that my mom rents out, the actual house connected to the storefront, which is where my mother and my 2 teenage brothers live, and then there's a house lower on the property, which is our house, and my husband Keith and I and our daughter Kiai live here, and we rent from my mom, and we pay our rent through working on the property. So we do a lot of things like planting trees and mowing and gardening and taking care of the animals. It had been an operating store for many years, a coffee farm in the back and a store in the front, and it was owned by a Japanese family. 3 generations, I think, lived in the house. In World War II, the grandfather was, he was a Japanese leader, and he was sent away to internment camp on Oahu, and he died in internment. And the grandmother continued to run the store by herself. 2 years ago, they had a family reunion at the local Hangwanji, which is a Buddhist temple, and my mom invited them all up here for an open house. So they came up and they brought us a tree to plant, and they were really, you know, happy to see the house had been restored.
This is my shaping bay where I make surfboards. It's pretty much underneath my house. So this is a polyurethane foam blank right here that I've shaped into a surfboard. So this is the core of the surfboard, and you have to, as you see, it's a really dusty business, but it's just basically shaping it down to the precise size that you'd want it.
I am a filmmaker. Right now the project that I'm working on is called One Winter Story. I have a partner named Elizabeth Pepin, and she lives in San Francisco, and we started this project together, so and I moved back here and I'm editing it here. The film is about Sarah Gerhardt, who is a big wave surfer and scientist. She has her doctorate in physical chemistry, and she surfs, is one of the few women, the first documented woman to surf at Mavericks, which is a huge wave surf spot just south of San Francisco in Half Moon Bay. It's hard, but it's great, and it's been pretty exciting to complete this project and, you know, be a mother and be able to live the lifestyle that we want and do the things that we want. It's just a constant process of figuring out how to keep making it work.